attempt at playing the bass part for M to the third power. Do be careful. I know I made a mistake coming out of those eighth notes at 125. Make sure that you're going from second position right back to first position. The only note that you need to go up for second position is the C, and then come right back down for the B flat. But other than that, trying to get this to making sure it speaks accurately. And we'll talk about that towards the end. But so this piece really is all about playing marcato. Marcato is being very short, very dry, lots of space between the notes. So I'm really trying to chip away at the notes with the bow. So it has to not use a lot, and then just keeping it very short, right? The first note we should do up bow. So I didn't mark it in. I also found another mistake. When you get to 73, it's not an open A. That's your first finger there. So when you play this through, that whole section there, really, really short notes. Even on the choir notes, I'm making it tiny bows. And then when you get to the 3/8, 2/4, 3/8, 2/4, this is the mixed meter part. So minor meter mix, that's basically this part where it's mixing up the meters. So we have to know how to count 3/8. Basically in 3/8 time, you're counting the eighth note, and there's 3 of them to a bar. So 1, 2, 3, right? And those 1, 2, 3s, or the beats, have to be the same speed as the regular eighth notes that you have in your 2/4. So in your 2/4, you're counting 1, 2, 1, 2. And if you count your eighth notes, it's 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. So that feeling of eighth notes, da 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 da, has to also translate into the 3/8. Da 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 da. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right? Same speed should be sought after on the 3/8 as well as the 2/4 with the eighth notes. So as we get there, we're counting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and it gives it that kind of jarring feeling of what's going on with the meter. I don't know, but it definitely has a unique feeling to it. 1, 2. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So at 27, we now move into 3/4, right? And you're counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Fermata. And then the violins have the pickup. 2 e and a 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So you're always on the and at 60, which is going to be hard to put together. So you really have to count carefully. I would, if I have to, count out loud and just make sure you're right in time. So 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. That's where that mistake was. Now, as far as the bowings go, it doesn't quite come out. So I think the last 2 choir notes here, we're going to have to do an up, up. So I measure 81. Make that up, up. right? So when we get to the arco at 73, make sure it's open to 1, open to 2, up, down, up, up. Now with that scale, I would just practice. So the only note that you're shifting for is the C natural. Make sure you're not going all the way up to third position. It's only low second position. So don't go for a C sharp, don't go for a D, go for the C natural. So, sorry, my fault. And then once you hit that C, shift immediately back to the B flat in first position. Tricky because you have a D, third position, C natural, shift back to first position for a B flat, A, G, A, and then we need B natural, so use your fourth finger. And then we're going to shift to third position, we want C sharp, so use your second finger, and then D. So practice it slowly. 4, 2, 4, and make sure that you're accurate. So that's going to take some work. 102, still arco. 2, 1, 2. 2, 1, B flat. A. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Slew of eighth notes. That's what I messed up in the recording, but you want to make sure that you're accurate, that you only shift for that C natural and you come right back for the B flat, so second finger, right? So I keep missing it. But so that whole little scale there going into 144, practice it, make sure it's second fingers, and then fourth finger for the C sharp on the A string, right? Get your third position, first position, and then half position on the A string, even on the E string, and then when you go back to the A string, go back to first position, so you can get the B natural and the C sharp. So we have that descending part. Half position, still half, now first, right? Mr. Kaye keeps wanting to shift to first position on the E string, stay in half position on the E string, shift to first position on the E string. So one more time for Mr. Kaye. There it is, right? So practice it. Make sure you think ahead and know exactly what you're doing with those positions, and then move on. So when you go on, go to third position on the D string for the 60s, right? And then really attack those last 16ths. So and make that crescendo going forward. M to the third is a really fun piece, but you guys are going to have to do your work and really buckle down and practice this stuff, because while it may be fun, there's a lot of things that really have to be right in place for this to be effective when we put it with 60 other intermediate school students. So really know your music well. Make sure you know what you're doing with your bows, whether it's a martelet attack or if it's going to be a legato passage, or if you have to use hooks. Also know what you're doing with your phrases, if you're crescendos or diminuendos, or how you end your phrases. But make sure that you take some time to look at all this stuff before that first rehearsal, and definitely before your audition. So it's a fun piece. I hope we get a chance to perform it, but you know, it's all up to you guys and what you do with your practice. So good luck and happy practicing.